there guys, so today's tutorial is all about how to do turns with thread the needle, which it actually utilizes some of the same skills that we learned a while back when we were playing around with crossers. And if you haven't already seen my tutorials on both how to do crossers as well as how to do thread the needles, go ahead and check those out right now. So how to make a turn out of thread the needle. First and foremost, if you've got the forwards thread the needle, that's totally awesome. You also need to learn the reverse thread the needle, which is going to involve starting off with your poi spinning in what I would call reverse butterfly, wherein they are coming up through the middle rather than going down through the middle, as it would be in like a forwards butterfly, for example. And the way you get it down is exactly the same way as how you get the forwards one down, which is you start with your arms and you switch which hand is on bottom each time you come up through the middle like this. And then you let out a little bit of the poi, go through the same operation, and don't go forward until this feels relatively comfortable. Then you go ahead and let out the full length of the poi, and again, go through alternating which hand is on bottom each time. Once you've done this, the goal is to start making smaller and smaller circles with your arms until you get it to the point where you're able to keep your hands relatively within the same little box here, right? And I mean, if you get to a point where you're even like right here, then you're close enough for government work, so to speak, right? Okay, so if you've got that down and you've got your forwards for the needles down, how do you tie them together? So glad you asked. Here's how we're going to launch into this. You're going to go ahead and start off, turn slightly to your left side, and what you're going to do is you are going to cross your right arm over your left arm. And your left arm, the poi is going to spin reverse, and in the right arm, the poi is going to spin forwards, right? Okay, now this is going to be kind of a difficult place to be in at first, but trust me, it bears out to something that's going to be helpful. And the first thing you're going to want to do as you're playing around with this is you're going to want to turn towards your left hand, that is towards your right hand side, and immediately once you've completed that turn, you're going to move your left hand around on top of your right hand and go into a forwards thread the needle. Again, you're going to start off right hand crossed over left, the left hand poi goes reverse, the right hand poi goes forwards, and as you turn to the right hand side, your left hand comes around on top, your right hand comes around on top, launching into a thread the needle. Yeah? Cool. Now for the other side of this. Once again, you're going to start with right hand on top, left hand on bottom, and the right hand is going to go forwards, of course, and the left hand is going to go reverse, and this time you're going to turn towards your right hand, so turn towards your left hand side, and as you do so, you're going to bring your right hand underneath your left, and then initiate that reverse thread the needle, yeah? Again, you start off with your right hand crossed over your left, right hand, goes forward, left hand goes reverse, and then as you turn towards your left hand side, right goes under, left goes under, and you're in thread the needle, right? Cool. So how do you get into that awful arm cross place? The best way I know to do it is as you're performing this here thread the needle, that point where your right hand is going to be on top, you're actually not going to just sit it on top of your left hand. You're going to reach all the way back behind your shoulder. And hey, look at that. You're in that position that we just drilled both sides from, right? So again, as we're doing a forwards thread the needle right here, you're going to reach back over your shoulder into this position that we've just been playing with, right? And of course, you can turn back to your right to re-engage in the thread the needle, reach over your left-hand shoulder, come back to re-engage and thread the needle, reach over your left-hand shoulder, come back to re-engage and thread the needle, yeah? Awesome. Now the other side of this is going to be, as you're doing the reverse thread the needle, you're going to practice reaching your left hand underneath your right armpit. And this is going to happen at that moment when your left hand is going underneath. Again, rather than just kind of hovering under your right hand, it's going to reach all the way down under your right armpit and then come back out. Or you can just hang out there for a second and then decide to come back out, depending upon what your comfort level is with hanging out in that position. Once you've got all that down, it's really just a simple matter of saying, okay, I'm going to reach over my left shoulder and I'm going to complete the turn all the way to my left to get a reverse thread the needle going. Let me show you what that looks like from the other side. So from my forwards thread the needle right here, I'm going to reach right hand over my shoulder, and then left hand moves over with it, right? So it's that same place that we were drilling where your right hand's going forwards, your left hand's going reverse. You turn, right hand goes under, left hand goes under, right? Sweet. So, again, from the forwards thread the needle, we go right hand over, and then into reverse thread the needle. Yeah? And from reverse thread the needle, we reach left hand under, left hand goes on top, and we're into forwards thread the needle, yeah? And of course, you can also do this to the other side of you by drilling the opposite equation, which is you start off with your left hand on top rather than your right hand, and now your right hand's going to go reverse, your left hand's going to go forwards, and you practice turning to your left and bringing your right hand on top in order to get into forwards thread the needle. Or, once again, left hand on top, right hand on bottom, your right hand's going reverse, your left hand's going forwards, you turn towards your left hand, and it's your left hand that goes under in order to get you into reverse thread the needle, yeah? And then, of course, the thing you need to drill is reaching left hand over your right shoulder, and then right hand under your left shoulder. And once you get that down, you're going to find you're in a position where you can really freely turn any particular place you want to with your thread the needles. This opens up more movement for you. And eventually it'll feel really, really natural to execute these turns. You'll do them almost without thinking about them, yeah? Cool. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will be back in a couple weeks with another tutorial. Peace.